Hey there YouTube, welcome back to the F.O.B. Dr. Yash here. So, the light's going to be fading in and out. I've tried to affect the white balance to some extent to get a little bit better visuals here. Shadows. Production value is just insane on this video. It's so good. So, anyways, I just wanted to give a quick update on everything that has been done since you've seen the last video. So, basically, we've got no more wood flooring in here. No more wood floor. It's all rubber flooring. Well, yeah, you can see it flipped it. It's all rubber flooring. You can see it's all here. Typical school bus floor. It's that rubber mat type stuff. You can see this is what we got going on from front to back. Focus is not very good. Oh, there we go. Let's see if we can play with the white balance some. There we go. That looks better. So now you can see a little bit better. This is the access panel I told you about in the previous video. I went in, cut all the bolts out that were remaining, got rid of all the seat leg stubs that were remaining, and this is what we're left with. We're left with the black floor. So I made a discovery. And I'll show you what I found right here. That is plywood. There's a plywood floor. It's factory in these buses on top of the metal floor. I did not know that there was plywood in here. That actually makes things a lot different for installing the floor in this bus. So that is a very good thing. In my opinion, I think it's a great thing. I think it's fantastic. So that actually changes things quite a bit, and it makes them a lot easier. Makes it a lot easier to install flooring. So I'm pretty excited about that. This is so weird. Like, I can see fine in here, but that camera cannot. The camera is not happy with the lighting, even with the white balance turned all the way up. So, but anyway, yeah. So the flooring's all up. We have a rubber floor in here. I've swept and mopped it a couple times. I mean, honestly, this thing being a 2004 school bus, it was in service for 14 years. It was taken out of service in 2018 from what I can tell in the log books. I actually do still have the driver log books. I found those. It's kind of cool. So it was on the road and in service until just a few years ago. So yeah, so it had about 14 years of being in service, and maybe 15. I think this may actually be like model year 2004, but may have gone into service in 2003. 14, 15 years, whatever. So that's how long it was in use. And so the floor is just gross. I mean, honestly, the inside of this thing has been rather filthy, and the more you clean it, the more you realize how dirty it is. Honestly, I don't think it's going to actually be what I would consider clean until the flooring is completely redone, the walls are all painted, all that. I mean, once everything is gone through, then it will be clean, but it's only just like kind of clean right now, and I'm still finding stuff that just needs to be scrubbed thoroughly every day. So anyways, that came out. It was pretty easy. Overall, just unscrew the stuff and keep it moving. Unscrew it, pull it up, sort it out. All that has been obviously removed from the bus, you can see, and that will come in handy in some other projects inside the bus. So I'm not going to get into all that stuff. Just wanted to let you know what I've done, not what I'm planning to do, because I'm finding out pretty quickly that anything I plan to do, all that stuff is subject to change, depending on availability, depending on so many different factors, and a lot of things that I'm learning as I go make certain things that I wanted to do not feasible, or just not, it's just not the right application for it. So I'll divulge all that information as we keep going. Got one more update. You can see we got those lights up there. You can hear a fan running in the background, most likely. So let me flip this around again and show you what we got. Alright, so this is the breaker panel. It is a Square D QO series 100 amp panel. Oh, that looks tripped. It's not. Both outlets are fine. But I've got 2 outlets ran right now, run off of these first 2 breakers. But this is coming, it's got that flexible conduit material coming up out of the floor. I've got 1 outlet run back here. Of course, you see a phone charger and a fan. It's really nice that the bus has all these screws, because you can just put the screws right through the back of the junction boxes and put stuff on the wall. So that's how that's mounted, just using the screws in the wall. So I've got that, and I've also got another outlet here. So as you can see, I've got breakers for another 3 circuits. So there's 5 in there in total. So let's go show you what I got out front. I actually finally got the power adapter in to be able to hook this thing up. So I just got it. Right now it's a Marine 50 amp shore power outlet that's on here. The previous owner put that in, and the electrical stuff that's in there now. I just remounted it. So this is, it's one of those big old Marine adapters, but I got the or Marine outlets, but I got the adapter to go from the regular extension cord into that. I'm not going to be pulling really more than 15 amps out of it anyway, so I'm not concerned about that in the least. So we have electricity that's not run through the window anymore. So now that brings me to the windows. This is probably my next thing that needs to be done. These windows need to be serviced. You can see this weather stripping that's in here is not as pliable as it used to be, and that is a source of some water leaks. Nothing major, nothing hard to fix. But that, and some of these actually, see all the brackets are out. There is one, yeah, there's this window here. This bad boy's ready to come out. So, see, the caulking is not adhered as good as it used to be. So, I've already pulled the wall apart in one section and getting ready for insulation, because the next stage of this process is going to involve me getting inside these walls. You can see there's nothing in there now, but you can see the batting in the bottom. It's a polyester type batting. I've got some of it sitting behind the refrigerator over here. You can see it's just a polyester batting. It's basically a more dense version of polyfill that you would find like in sewing circles. So I actually held my lighter to it. It's very obviously polyester, the way it smells when it burns. I did a burn test on it. So it's very low R value. I found they don't have a whole lot of R value information on polyester, but I found one Australian site that mentioned that the polyester batting only ranges from like R 1.5 to 4.5. I'm just thinking that's like roughly a 2 based on the thickness of it. So yeah, R2 is very low. For reference, the glass itself is considered R1 in these windows. So you pretty much have nothing. That polyester batting is, that's why they don't publish R values for it. It's basically not insulation. So it's sound deadening, but not thermal insulation. So that's all got to go. The roof, the walls, all that is full of that stuff. It needs to go. So that's the next major hurdle. Pulling all these walls apart, which looks like it's going to require pulling the windows to pull the wall panels out. The way they're fastened on the top looks like it's actually being held in place, hooked in place with the windows. So the windows need to come out, need to be recaulked. Whatever seals are bad or need to be replaced in them will be done at that time. And then the insulation will go back in when the wall goes back together. So that's the walls and the windows. So you got your leaks, your drafts, your insulation. That's the next big stage. The flooring will happen somewhere in there, and then of course the ceiling needs to be insulated as well. So that's the next big hurdle. Insulation, leaks, drafts. At that point, we're getting close to putting paint on the walls. We're getting close to really being able to move in. So that's very good news. It's going to be hopefully not a too much of a painstaking task to do the insulation and do the windows, but it is the next step. So that is this week's update. So we got electricity in here. The floor is out. We're moving on to insulation. We're moving on to sealing up leaks. Working on weather stripping with the door. With the emergency door has a big leak too on the bottom. It from the factory does not have weather stripping in the bottom of it. I believe that is on purpose. After talking with someone else, they mentioned a couple reasons why that might be. I'm not going to get into that here because it's all conjecture at this point. So I am not 100% sure what that would be for. I have some ideas. But either way, I'm just basically going through, continuing to clean this thing up, get it ready to be livable, and so now we're working on the things to actually add the creature comforts of insulation, of not being drafty and leaky. So it's not terribly drafty, it's not terribly leaky, but it's not a house. So we're trying to get it closer to that in those two areas specifically. And the insulation may never be as good as a house, but we're going to do our best to get it closer to that point. So anyways, I think I've rambled on enough about it. I think you get the point. It's been a very successful last few days with everything going on here. So I didn't find anything else scary. So the rust that I showed you in the previous videos is still the same rust. It looks like it's going to need to be repaired. Everything else is pretty good. So been a lot of work, but it's also been very good. So anyways, I will see y'all probably, hopefully, another week or so. I'll find something else to do on this thing in the meantime while I'm getting everything squared away with planning the insulation and all that good stuff. So until next time, I'll see y'all later. And you know the deal. Oh, I did it backwards. You know the deal. Like, comment, subscribe. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. If you got any suggestions about really anything, if there's anything I've done that I've misspoken on in reference to this bus or whatever, put it in the comments. So, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Until next time, I'll see you later.